Hey y'all, hey! Welcome to the video Love Bugs. It is your host, Queen Blah and more. And we are back, y'all, for another YouTube reaction video, Love Bugs. How's everyone's? Today is February the 6th, lovers. And we are going to go ahead and hop right on into this video, y'all. Strong Mommy Chrissy is talking about her silent miscarriage. Y'all know how we feel about it. We don't know if the girl telling the truth or if she's fibbing or what's going on. So we just gonna watch. We're gonna offer our sympathy, our condolences, and we're gonna keep it moving, y'all. Okay. The screen share is already on. I'm about to go ahead and hit play. Y'all hit the like button.
All right. So what's up, y'all? It's your girl. I am back for another video. Today's video, I'm gonna be doing a sit-down video. Um, just kind of going over my whole experience that's happened while it's still fresh in my memory, kind of from start to finish. I didn't really get to vlog everything, talk about everything now that, you know, everything is kind of over. I kind of just wanted to sit here and like have a conversation about like my experience, how everything felt, how I feel now, and maybe discuss the future a little bit. Hopefully, this helps somebody one day. So, yeah. The kids are in the background. We're getting ready to go and pick up cash for the weekend. So they're playing just kind of, whatever in our common area. So it's going to be some background kid noise, but they're happy. And so I guess that's a good sign, right? I had what is considered a silent miscarriage, although I felt like I kind of did have some signs and symptoms, the classic signs and symptoms for miscarriage I totally didn't have. It's called a silent miscarriage or a missed miscarriage, where you're technically carrying a fetus that is deceased or passed away and you don't know about it. You don't have cramping, you don't have a significant amount of bleeding, you don't have anything that would like let you know that you are having or you have had a loss. So the first symptom that I noticed that I didn't really know was gonna end up leading up to this was I had a dip in symptoms. There was like 1 to 3 day period where I felt like my nausea was going down to where I wasn't as nauseous, I wasn't uncomfortable like I had been every single day. I hadn't had any like actual vomiting during the pregnancy, but I had like all day nausea. And then all of a sudden, one day I realized, I haven't been nauseous at all today. I wasn't really nauseous yesterday. What's going on? And I remember getting on and doing a video and being like, you guys, this nausea just went away. And it really did make me sit and think, but I didn't think that it would be anything serious at the time. I was telling myself, like, no, you're just tripping. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up convincing myself, like, no, like it's fine, because shortly after my nausea came back in full effect, like I was down. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Plus I had a doctor's appointment coming up. I'm like, I'm gonna be good. Like it's fine. I don't know. Just be grateful that you didn't have nausea for a couple of days, because it's definitely back. I went to my doctor's appointment, had an ultrasound. The baby's heartbeat was very, very strong, no issues. Everything was perfect as far as the eye could see. Nobody was concerned. I wasn't concerned. Pregnancy symptoms continued after that point. And then, like a month later, I started having spotting on the same day I had a doctor's appointment. And it was just like a little tiny bit noticeable. Definitely noticed. I definitely noticed it. It wasn't a lot, just like a little bit. But I was like, this can't be anything serious. Like I'm just telling myself, like, this can't be anything serious. And I did text my boo, and I remember saying, like, I'm a little nervous because I had a little spotting. And he was like, well, you're going to the doctor, so it'll be fine. Like it's perfect timing for this to happen because you're going to the doctor, so everything's gonna be fine. Like, just relax. He's always my calm voice of reason, because I can freak out easily. I could end up overthinking it and freaking out about something that I really shouldn't have freaked out about. So I always, will call him or text him and be like, this is going on. And he'll be like, no, calm down. It's not like that, whatever. So he calmed me down. I got to my doctor's appointment. Again, I had another ultrasound. Baby was fine. Baby's heartbeat was fine. And another
I think it's weird. I think it's weird how I called my boo. My boo, my boo, my boo. Child, my boo ain't made it in town for the silent miscarriage, for the DNC, for the crying, for the nothing. My boo. My boo didn't send no change to get the kids McDonald's, a couple pizzas, nothing. The kids had to eat hot dogs and bologna and noodles and whatever they can find while she ate, I think, Jimmy John's or something like that. Hmm. Hmm. I just be telling the truth. People don't like it. They be like, oh, she's suffering. Why do you got to do this? At the end of the day, wasn't she suffering with strangler bay too? She claimed she had a miscarriage by strangler bay. At the end of the day, this would have been the 10th kid by the 9th baby daddy. So somebody need to tell her the truth. Y'all crazy. And then there's no food in the refrigerator. The kids having to eat dang on hot dogs and bologna and noodles. And y'all trying to kiss her ass and talking about some sympathy? No. Tell her the truth. If she really did suffer a miscarriage, that might have been the man above saying, it's time for you to slow down and take care of the ones you got. It may sound harsh, but remember, the man above is in control. She leaving them kids, going to New York and wherever else, Seattle and all kinds of other places, coming back sick, leaving sick, laying up under men, and the kids having to eat hot dogs and noodles and whatever they can find themselves. Y'all think that's okay? And don't say it was just because she was suffering a silent miscarriage or whatever she was going through, because the refrigerator was empty months before that. Y'all need to really be honest. Her children are suffering. Forget her and forget her emotions. Do y'all not care about the kids? Oh, okay. Okay, because that's what I thought.
the thing that I will say that I noticed now that I didn't notice then was that the baby never moved. Like I don't remember him moving. Even in like my most earliest ultrasounds, I remember all of my kids doing this little, I call it like a little, like a magic bean jumping type. They're not really doing anything. It's kind of like reflexes. They're just in there bouncing and, just doing their thing. And I never really thought about it, but I never saw this baby do that. I never saw him really move. His heart was beating. He had a strong heartbeat. He was doing good. He was growing, but he just wasn't physically like moving. And so I now I look back and I think about it. That was a symptom also, but or like an indication that something was going to be wrong. But I just didn't. It didn't click for me in that time. With that being said, the fact that even with that though, the fact that my doctor was assuring me everything was fine, heartbeat was good, everything was visibly good. There was just really no indication that there was going to be any issues. And I told him about the spotting at that appointment. He was like, listen, if it continues, if it gets worse, let me know. But I'm not going to be real concerned about it right now because sometimes spotting can happen for
I was talking to y'all for a long time and it was muted. Um, this y'all hear the kids screaming in the background, just screaming, 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 while she's sitting there making a video with no emotion, talking about a DNC she had. I'm just trying to figure out if this is a money grab and a view grab, a sympathy grab. What is it? Because your lack of emotions says that you didn't even need to talk about it. Honestly, you talk to your boo about it. Same boo that can't send the money for the kids to actually have something good to eat while you down and out. You sitting here making video after video after video, and there's no emotion behind these videos, which makes it seem like it's a lie. So go and deal with your children. They in there beating each other up, probably eating noodles and hot dogs. Go deal with your kids. It's crazy because y'all pick and choose so much. If this was Jasmine, it'd be a whole uproar. The internet would be broken. If this was Jasmine faking a miscarriage or even truthfully talking about a miscarriage, the internet would be shredded right now. I'm not understanding how the internet's not shredded right now. This is a single mom of 9 kids, 8 baby daddies, talking about she just miscarried baby number 10 by a new man. She got fast food on the way back from the clinic or wherever she was coming from and told the kids they had to eat hot dogs and noodles and bologna or whatever they could find. And y'all think that's okay? And this didn't just happen. Her refrigerator has been empty. We've seen this girl refrigerator empty for years. She can't even properly take care of the kids that she got, but she continuously laying up trying to have more by different men. It's not even like she just having a whole bunch of kids by a deadbeat ass man because she just in love with him. She having all these kids by different men. Girl, bye. Girl, bye.
Explainable reasons during pregnancy. As long as it's not heavy or consistent, I'm not gonna worry about it because I saw the baby. Baby's fine. Baby's heartbeat strong. So let's just keep an eye on it. And so I was okay with that. So I left that appointment feeling really confident, but I didn't realize that was the last time I was gonna see my son alive. So that was on I think a Friday. And the next morning I had a little bit more spotting, but like it just disappeared. It went away. It was like it never happened. And I still felt pregnant. I still had my nausea, my tiredness, my everything. Like nothing was different to me. When the spotting went away, I was like, okay, that's fine. So the whole weekend, no spotting. I'm keeping an eye out. I'm not having any cramping, no spotting. And then Monday morning rolls around, and I go to the restroom in the morning, and there's a little bit more. And so I call my doctor's office and I say, hey, this might be a UTI. Because I was just thinking I just saw the baby Friday. Baby's heart rate's good. Baby's good. Baby's doing his thing. I was starting to think of like maybe it's some sort of like infection or maybe it's like a UTI. Sometimes, you get a UTI, it's painful. Me, sometimes I can get a UTI and not really have any symptoms besides some spotting or some lower back pain. And a lot of these symptoms when you're pregnant feel like pregnancy symptoms. So it's hard to like differentiate between the two. So I was like talking to the nurse and I was like, hey, maybe send a note to my doctor. I don't know. He already
That's crazy. She sure get a lot of UTIs. Like, that's not normal. It's not normal, sis.
knows about what's going on, but I'm starting to think maybe this might be a UTI. So she's like, okay, let me get the note to your doctor. Let me see what he wants to do. Technically they were like, we can prescribe you something over the phone, but let me see what he wants us to do because you really don't have any other of the other like classic symptoms besides this weird spotting. So she's like, I'll get back to you no later than tomorrow. So she gets back to me the following day. She says, I talked to your doctor. He said that it's okay for you, considering that these are your only symptoms. It's okay to wait.
So she talked to the she talked to the went to the doctor Friday. Remember, y'all, I did this timeline for y'all, and we about to figure out. I'm gonna try to figure out if the timeline still is the same. She went to the doctor Friday. Heartbeat was strong. She was spotting Friday. She was spotting Saturday. No spotting Sunday. Started back spotting Monday. Called the doctor. The doctor called back Tuesday.
Until you come in for your appointment later on this week. And I had an appointment for like Thursday, which was like 2 days later. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. I was okay with that. After I got
The story not adding up, y'all. It's not adding up. Remember, she said the appointment was Friday. And I understand both appointments was on Friday. I get this. But remember, she said Monday. In the last video, she told us she went to the doctor Friday. They told her she lost the baby. They told her to come back the next in 2 days, but that was a Sunday, so she had to go back Monday. That's what we get into right now, okay? I'm gonna take it back a little bit.
for you, considering that these are your only symptoms, it's okay to wait until you come in for your appointment later on this week. And I had an appointment for like Thursday, which was like 2 days later. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. I was okay with that. After I got off the phone with her, like that day, the rest of the day, I didn't have any spotting the rest of the week. No spotting, no cramping, no issues. And Thursday, I get up, I get dressed, I get to the appointment. They run my urine sample for UTI. She comes back in the room. She's like, you don't have any infections. You don't have anything going on. We're not concerned.
So in her last video, she told us all this happened on Friday. She told us all this happened on Friday. Y'all remember. They did the blood work. Then they sent her in for the ultrasound. Then the doctors came in and said it was no heartbeat. The nurses. She said it was Friday. She needed to come back 2 days, but 2 days was a Sunday. So she had to do it Monday. Y'all keep track of the timeline.
About anything, and you're just a little dehydrated. So like we can't really explain this spotting. She's like, but before you leave, I would like to do an ultrasound just to make sure, check on the baby, make sure he's okay. I did a vlog about this. So if you guys haven't seen the vlog, you can see all of this happen in real time in my vlog on my channel. Scroll back up a few videos and you can see the day that this all happened.
It wasn't in real time, y'all. She recorded and edited and clipped out everything. We didn't hear a heartbeat not one time. We did not see anything on an ultrasound machine. We didn't even see the lady give her an ultrasound. And unless she had an internal ultrasound with baby oxtail sitting right there, like, I guess, but I don't get it, because you saying that you might have a UTI, you think you got a UTI, you having spotting, and they did a internal ultrasound. I don't know, y'all. I'm just my opinion, my thoughts. I'm just thinking, and I'm saying an internal ultrasound because in that blog that she's telling us about, she had on no bottoms. She said, I'm going to get dressed. So you don't have to take your clothes off for a normal ultrasound.
But just for the people who didn't see that video, just a good, like a brief overview from start to where we're at now. I'm gonna go ahead and just, add this in here. We do the ultrasound, and I don't really want to go into too much detail because I did go into detail in the video that I'm telling you guys to go look at, but I just do not want to break down in this video. So
she's trying to force y'all to go and watch that video because all views count, right? Mm-hmm.
But long story short, she's looking concerned and she says, hey, I'll be honest with you, I don't see a heartbeat. I'm going to go get a second pair of eyes just to double check. She does that. Another person comes in. They say the same thing. So at this point, I am just confused, shocked. I'm in a state of, I can't even explain the feeling at that moment. It was just like a feeling of, this can't possibly be happening to me. I must be in a dream. Like I must be dreaming. This is not happening to me. And so then, I get in the car, I call my boyfriend, and I break the fuck down in the car. And at that point, I just could no longer hold it together. Fast forward later on in the evening, the person who I saw in that doctor's appointment wasn't my actual doctor, but he had no openings that day. And I just really wanted to get in and get seen. So I saw someone else. So I sent a message to my doctor, and he reached back later on that night after hours and was like, hey, I'm so sorry for your loss. Just basically just.
She sent a message. She sent a cryptic message. Y'all, hold on. I'm confused. I was watching Boosie dance at the basketball game. She said she sent a cryptic message to her doctor. Girl.
Just really wanted to get in and get seen. So I saw someone else. So, and who I saw at that point, I just couldn't lock the fuck down. So then, I get in the car, I call my boyfriend, and I break the fuck down in the car.
My bad, y'all. I'm not paying attention. I'm gonna pay attention though now. I promise. Okay, I'm pay attention.
And at that point, I just could no longer hold it together. Fast forward later on in the evening, the person who I saw in that.
So she broke down in the car with baby Oxtail still in there. She said she wouldn't break down in the room with Onyx, but then she said she broke down in the lobby because a lady took Onyx to get some crackers. But now she's saying she's broke down in the car in front of Onyx.
Doctor's appointment wasn't my actual doctor, but he had no openings that day. And I just really wanted to get in and get seen.
You hear it is the story is not adding up, y'all. I promise. If you go back to the other video, she tells us that when she called the freaking doctor Monday, The doctor told her it's okay because you have an appointment set up anyway. It's okay because you have an appointment set up anyway. So why did she have an appointment set up with the person that wasn't her doctor? She would have had her appointment set up with her doctor. I'm just responding, y'all. I don't know if the girl had a miscarriage or not, but what we can figure out is that her story is not adding up at all.
So I saw someone else. So I sent a message to my doctor, and he reached back later on that night after hours and was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry for your loss. Just basically just apologizing for everything that had just happened to me that day." And he was just saying, we want you to come in tomorrow morning for another ultrasound, just for a peace of mind ultrasound to confirm that what we actually saw was what we actually saw. So I went ahead and did that. I went in and went for another ultrasound the next day, which is a Friday. And it was really quick. She did tell me it was the same lady from the last time, not my doctor, but she was still nice. And she was like, you don't have to do this if you really don't want to see the baby deceased again. And I just was like, just for my peace of mind, just so I know this is really what this is, I want to see again. And so she did the ultrasound again.
So she went to the doctor, y'all. She telling us she went to the doctor Thursday. They did 2 ultrasounds, could not find a heartbeat at all. They scheduled the DNC, notified her that the baby was no longer living. They told her to come back the very next day to do another ultrasound to be sure. And she went back and did another ultrasound to be sure. And they still left the unalive baby inside of her. Now we know for a fact that you can have an emergency DNC right then and there, right then and there, right then and there. They can shift you right up to the dang on emergency area and you can get the DNC. So why would this doctor's office have her come in 2 days in a row to notify her that the baby is unalive and still make her wait a week to do a DNC?
And he, in fact, did not have a heartbeat. So it was hard, but I kept it together. Again, I had onyx.
Child. One of the stories is not making sense, y'all. But anyway, this is crazy. So some people think that Chrissy is lying about this entire thing. And then another group of people think that Chrissy actually had a miscarriage, but she was way further along than she thought. She was further along than a month, 2 months, or 3 months. And then we got another group of people that think Chrissy had a termination. Now, which group are you in? Do you think that Chrissy is lying and didn't have a miscarriage at all and just did all this for views? The same way she made the homeless videos for views? Y'all remember her sitting out there on the ground in the grass talking about how she was homeless? All for views and money. Is this what she's doing right now? Or was she 4 or 5 months pregnant and actually had a miscarriage? Or did Chrissy have a termination because she was actually pregnant by somebody else? Which group do you fall into? Which group do you fall into?
With me,